Let's go through two very important topics in this video, which are leveling off from climbing and landing. So without further ado, we're going to fly left-hand circuit here at Jandakot. Full power for the takeoff, brakes are off. Bit of right rudder to stay straight here in the Cessna 152. I made this camera angle really wide so you can see everything that's going on. So staying straight with the rudder. T's and P's are in the green, airspeed's coming alive, and there's 55 knots, so we'll take off. We're a bit slow, so let's come back to 75. Flaps down, should have put them up because I just landed. That's alright. 75 knots will be our target airspeed for the normal climb. We're using the yoke for this, so I blocked out the yoke here so you can see all the instruments. If you need to see the yoke inputs, look at the First Officer Copilot 1. But I'm not touching the trim or the power, I'm just using the yoke to pitch for 75 knots. And once I'm happy with the attitude I see outside, then I'm going to trim. So hold the attitude, gently move the trim wheel back. We're a bit slow there. I'll start the turn. We're still a bit slow in the climb, so we're going to climb a bit faster than usual. No worries there. Make sure we're balanced with the turn coordinator. And that should be about 90 degrees from the runway. We're still climbing a bit fast, and once we're at 1,000, I'm just going to gently push on the yoke so we stay here. Take the power back to cruise power or 2300 RPM in the Cessna, and as you can see, we still want to climb. If I'd let go of the controls now, we'd want to climb, so we need a trim. But before trimming, let's turn on to downwind so we have a little bit more time to deal with our altitude situation and get back to 1,000 feet now that we're out of the turn. Cool. So right now I'm pushing down on the yoke, pushing the nose down, because if I'd let go, we'd just start climbing, and that's not ideal. So we fix that with the trim, but there's a very intricate process you must follow to trim the aircraft, which is to set the attitude first. This is from a climb, it's different from a descent, but first we want to set the attitude, so about there, and then you'd want to set the power, which we've done already, 2300, and then watch the trim wheel. It's very gentle, very gentle. It's barely moving up, but I'm holding 0 feet per minute on the VSI and very gently nudging the trim wheel. And as you can see, if I let go now, pretty much stays level. We do want to pitch down a little bit, but you can do the same process. Set the attitude we want, power's going to stay the same. And if you look at that, pretty much level. That's autopilot for you on the Cessna 152 trim wheel. So let's turn on to base and we can start a landing now. Just like that, our carb heat will become hot, power will be idle, and I'm not going to change the camera angle once again because I want to keep this wide view for you, but we want to set 2 notches of flaps now in the white arc and trim for 65, but this time we're going to trim for a descent. So wind the trim wheel back a bit. I've wound it back like 3 times. You won't see on the simulator because my trim wheel is much smaller, so because it's a smaller wheel, the turns won't match up exactly, but that's alright. We want to maintain 65 here on base. Through the turn, also maintaining 65, and once we're on final, we are going to add our 3rd stage of flaps, and the carb heat can be hot. Now on final, it's very important that you get on the right profile with the right airspeed. So we're a bit slow and high now, so I'm going to use the yoke to pitch the nose down, gain some airspeed and lose some height, which is what we want. So there we're getting a little bit faster. We're also sinking quite rapidly. The Cessna 152 does sink like a brick on landing. So use your power, and we're a bit slow, but that's all right. Now we're over the threshold. Gently hold off, and gently raise the nose now so you touch down on the mains, just like that. And we were on centerline, so no need to adjust. Flaps can go up and take off again. So now that you've kind of understood the steps, I'm just gonna give you a little bit more tips and more details so you can understand how to hit a perfect landing every time, and also to level off perfectly as well. So once again, we want to be at 75 knots in the climb. Before you trim the aircraft, just see what it wants to do first. It wants to pitch up now. So hold the nose down at the attitude you want, wait for the airspeed to increase, and once it's at the airspeed you want, gently nudge the trim wheel forward so the nose can stay down without your inputs. And as I'm pushing the trim wheel forward, I'm releasing pressure on the yoke, and that's how you get a successful trim every single time. Climbing turns are much harder to level off from. I'll just show you how you would though. Let's say you're turning onto crosswind and you're already at 1,000 feet. So what would you do in that situation? You keep turning. You don't want to climb anymore. All you got to do is take the power back and 2300, so we maintain 1,000 feet. So it's not a climbing turn anymore, but it's a 30-degree turn. All right, a bit close to the runway. Once again, we'll learn to level off properly from the climb. So set the attitude first, then the power. What does a plane want to do? Plane wants to climb, so I'm gonna push back on the nose, push it down, and gently nudge the trim wheel forward while keeping the nose at the attitude I want. Very important you lock the nose at the attitude you want. You don't want to fly with the trim. You have to make sure you keep the plane where you want it first, and then you trim the plane. So just like that, I've trimmed the aircraft. It still wants to keep climbing, so push down on the yoke gently, make sure everything is cool, and nudge on the trim wheel while releasing back pressure, just like that. And if I let go of the yoke now, everything looks alright. We want to descend a little bit, that's alright. And now we're going to turn on to base, and you can see how to nail your landing every single time. So we'll begin our base turn now. Do our best to maintain the altitude, dropping a bit, add some more back pressure. And as always, I blocked out the yoke here, but you can look to your right at the other yoke to see exactly what I'm doing with everything. So carb heat can come hot, power's idle. We want our speed to be in the white arc so we can lower the flaps. So there's 85, 2 stages of flaps come down, and once we're at 65 knots, lower the nose. And this time, instead of nudging the trim, we're going to wind it back because we've made a pretty significant power change. And we want to maintain 65 knots for as long as we can. Use the yoke liberally. Trim, we don't want to use that much because it's not a primary control surface. We do want to use our yoke and power. Now, coming into landing, if I'm fast, I'm going to pitch the nose down, and if I'm low, I'm going to add power, just like I did there. So your throttle is what controls your height, and your attitude is what controls your speed. So in this situation, if I was too low, like I am here, instead of trying to pitch back up like this, if I was too low, I'll just add some power. And by doing that, and if I maintain the same airspeed there, I come back to a good height. Now same thing, if I was too high, instead of pushing the nose down and gaining all that additional airspeed, all I would do is take the power to idle and let the plane descend by itself. You don't want to use the yoke to push the plane around. We're just using the yoke to maintain a good attitude. So this is a good attitude for a glide approach. We'll take full flaps now. Carb heat can go cold. It's a bit of a long landing, but that's all right. And for the final part of the landing, you just want to fly straight and level, and as you get closer, pull back more and more. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it, it's nice fun. All right, thanks for watching.